There are moments in all our lives that live in our hearts and minds, many of them we just saw celebrated here, and so many of them we shared together at the Skoll World Forum this week. One such memory for me is my first visit to the Panzi Hospital in Bukavu, Eastern Congo. Traveling down an almost inaccessible dirt road to arrive at a modest one-story building with a small sign saying Panzi Hospital. And the first image that I can never forget of the long lines of women, many crying, many holding on to each other, and all in pain. And all waiting to see the doctor inside who's known as the man who heals women. And over the next few days, I listened along with Dr. Denis Mukwege and his team as they heard story after story of the rape and the violence that had brought them there. I saw in so many ways what it really looks like to wage a war on the bodies of women. A war that's gone on for 30 years, largely ignored by the rest of the world, in spite of the almost single-handed efforts of Dr. Mukwege to raise awareness and raise response. And this is a war that's already claimed 7 million lives and left 25 million without food and shelter, and has destroyed the lives of hundreds of thousands of women and their families. His life-saving work at the Panzi Hospital and the transformative programs of the Panzi Foundation, as well as the creation of a healing and leadership center in partnership with VDE, the City of Joy. Dr. Denis Mukwege received the Nobel Peace Award and recently joined the Council of Elders. And today, he joins the Skoll World Forum. Please welcome Dr. Denis Mukwege. Not a bad entrance. You're standing ovation before you've said anything, even. Says something about what we all feel coming into this conversation with you. I think the first thing we feel is relief and gratitude that you are okay. Because recently that war that has gone on for 3 decades in the Congo is escalated again. The M23 militia have overtaken Bukavu, the city where Panzi Hospital and the City of Joy are located. So let's start there. How are the teams? How is the staff at both of those institutions? How are they doing, and how are you doing?
Thank you, Pat, for caring about the crucial situation in the DRC. Really, I want to thank you for your last visit in Congo and to visit Panzi and City of Joy. This was really meaningful for our staff and for the patients at the hospital. When women are rejected in their families, to get people coming from far away to support them, this was really something that they can't forget. Thank you so much. Today, the Panzi Hospital and City of Joy are open, and we are really very happy to know that our staff is there, working in a very hard condition. South Kivu and North Kivu are under occupation, but they are doing their job, supporting victims of sexual violence as they are doing, and we are really very happy. And I want just to thank them for what they are doing in this terrible condition.
Well, we are so grateful that you are well, and while you've had safe harbor here for a while, I know that you are committed to returning to the women in Congo who have brought you back many times because they need you there on the front lines. And you have been on those front lines for so many years as one of the most vocal voices bringing up the issue of rape as a systemic system and tactic of war, not just a byproduct of war, but an actual tactic of war. And in the war in Congo, I'm not sure it's completely understood why. Why this tactic? What are they looking for? What's the purpose?
Yeah, when people are raping women in front of their husband, in front of their children, in front of the community, gang rape, using bayonets, sticks, guns to destroy their genitals. I think this is not a byproduct of war. It's really a heinous act. It's just a way to destroy not only women, but to destroy families and destroy communities. And I can see in what is happening when women are raped in this situation. Most of the time, men don't have capacity to react. You have the impression that men are the first to leave their village and just go to look for anonymity because they are ashamed about what happened to their wife or happened to their children. And when people can rape babies, take women as slaves, I think it's a way only to show their power and to try just to destroy the fabric of the society. And when the fabric of the society is destroyed, it means that the population don't have any capacity to fight for themselves. And I can say that this is a horrible weapon that humans can use to destroy others and destroy community.
Over these many years, you have used your voice to keep raising this issue. And I think sometimes, in spite of all the efforts to do that, there's still some lack of understanding of what is it they're after. And what we know is they're after the conflict minerals, the minerals that are so rich and abundant in the Congo, and for which the Congolese people have never received any compensation. But now that is an economic-driven war. So explain then what we can do as citizens of many countries in this room. What can we do to address the issues of a war being fought over the minerals that we think are necessary for a green transition, important to this community, as well as the cell phones and everything else that these minerals are powering?
Yeah, as you said, really, it's an economic-driven war because there is a correlation clear between the extraction, the illicit trade of natural resources in Congo, and the widespread violence, rape, and to destroy the community. And I can say that this last year we could see it's clear to see countries who don't have these minerals, but they are exporting the minerals that they don't have in their own country. And this is really the image that we can say there is really a connection between the war and the exploitation of these minerals. Congo have two minerals that are needed in our new technologies. Coltan. Coltan is a mineral where we extract tantalum. And without tantalum, we can't do the chips in our electronic equipment. And Congo has the largest reserve of tantalum in the world. And today, for example, the mine of Rubaya, which said that this mine have around 15 to 20% of the tantalum of the world, is under control of rebels. And of course, they are exporting this mineral. We got a report from the UN that said that 120 tons of this mineral are exported each month from Congo to Rwanda. And the second mineral is cobalt. When you are talking about the climate change, of course, we are thinking also how we can get this energy transition. And today we can't think about this energy transition without talking about cobalt. Congo is the first supplier of cobalt in the world. So you can see that all the problems that we have are around this mine. And today I can say that there is only two possibilities to access to this mine. The first possibility is countries who are using violence, fighting in Congo to exploit this mineral, and in killing, raping in Congo. The second country who is really exploiting this mineral, they are using corruption, violation of human rights, and to destroy also our environment. So I think that these two ways are criminals. We can't accept to go on in this way if really Congo is the first supplier of the world. It's needed to get another strategy of these minerals. And it's clear the countries who are exploiting now this mineral, they are going to do their best to avoid other countries to come in. But there is a way, really, for companies to jump in this question and try to use the leverage in their own country to get lasting peace in the region. So other companies can come in the region and exploit this mineral as these two countries are doing in Congo today. And we think that if other countries, other companies can come and exploit this mineral in the transparent way, in respecting our environment, and to get a supply chain who is responsible, I think that the local community will win, and companies also will win. And this is possible. It's only to build peace in the region, so any company who wants to work in the region can come and exploit this mineral. But to use violence or to use corruption, I can say these two ways are criminals. And I think that we can, and all of us here, we can push companies to use leverage they have to get peace in this region so everyone can come and work as he wants and use a supply chain who is clean.
I have heard you make that call to action and talk about the conflict minerals, that there are solutions. So we may come back to a collective opportunity to say to all these individuals, or maybe you do it now, because we're not going to give up the things that are powering our transition to get off fossil fuel. But what can we do to end the impunity, a culture of impunity that continues over the conflict minerals?
Yeah, I think impunity is really a big problem, especially in a country as Congo, and when it comes to sexual violence. It's not only Congo. I can say that justice is exception, impunity is a rule. We can see it everywhere. But I don't think that we can change things if really we keep impunity as a system. And today, if really we want to fight, for example, against sexual violence, it's really very important. It's important to get men involved, because I think that for many decades, women fought for the right, fought for justice, but to fight against sexual violence, it's not a question of women. It's a question of our humanity. So we need really to get men who can involve and just say, I will not wait until it happens in my circle. I have to act before, because I have responsibility to protect the humanity. This is the first thing that I think it's really very important. Second things, when we can talk about impunity in the system, is education. Because I think that most of the time, we can get this impression that people are doing things because, yeah, it's a way maybe they are educated. And we need really to get a strong education so boys and girls can understand that they are equal. And when this can be the way to educate our children, and this must start very earlier in schools, in university, and everywhere. And this is a way also to fight against impunity in our society when it can be an equal society.
I think it's clear why we call you the man who heals women. We need more of that kind of advocacy everywhere to end impunity and to end the violence. And I just for a moment want to bring this community into more of your personal story, Denis, because you started as a gynecologist committed to delivering healthy babies and taking care of women, setting up a maternal hospital. And then all this violence so clearly shifted the direction. And now you're treating the grandchildren of the women that you originally set up the hospital to treat. How do you maintain hope that this conflict will be resolved and that there will be an end to the violence against women, not only in your country, but everywhere?
Yeah, I think that at Panzi, when we start to do what we are doing, it was really, for me, it was to fight against maternal mortality. I never thought that the problem could be what happened after to open the hospital. But if I can talk a little bit about my journey, when I just finished my study in France, I decided to go back to Congo. And what I found there was terrible for women, especially the maternal mortality. This was very, very high. And I got the impression that there is things that I can do. So I went in a remote area to try to help women in this remote area. This place where we're called Lemera Hospital. But unfortunately, in 1996, the hospital was attacked, and my patients were killed in their beds. And this was a terrible thing that happened to me. My staff also was killed. And it took me 2 years before to restart again and start to work as a medical doctor. But it was very hard. And then I opened Panzi Hospital. And when I opened Panzi Hospital, my goal was to fight against maternal mortality. But unfortunately, the first patient I treated, she didn't come to give birth. She came because she was raped with extreme violence. I've never seen, after to work in the region for 15 years, I've never seen something like that. So she was raped, and they destroyed her genital by shooting in. So for me, I just got the impression at this moment that it must be a madman who did it, because I could not believe that this could happen in a society where people can do things like on the body of women. And I treat her, but after 3 months, there I discovered that the number was increasing. And all women who were coming at our hospital, they were just giving the same story. I was raped by 3, 5. I lose my conscience. I was raped by 3 persons, and after this, they introduced sticks in my genital. So I start to understand that it's a strategy of war. I did a paper where I tried to bring the international community to understand that there is something bad in the region. So, and I'm so sorry that after 25 years, I'm still treating the same kind of pathology. This is sad to say.
It's even hard to sit here so many thousands of miles away and hear the stories and know that this is going on as we sit here today in Eastern Congo. But you have given the world a way out. You have brought forward the idea that rape as a systemic tactic of war is going on, and it has been largely ignored. You have been taking this message everywhere. And in doing so, you almost lost your own life. There was an assassination attempt. The women brought you back, selling in the market to pay for your ticket to come back home, and then encouraged you to run for the presidency. Is taking a leadership position. What did you learn from that journey, and would you do that again?
Yeah. Of course, I think that I did my best to try to get justice for women. And I traveled around the world talking with all the decision makers to try to bring them to understand that we can't let women suffering in the way that they were suffering in Congo. And without justice, there is no way to stop these atrocities on the body of women when people can transform the body of women to be a battlefield. And I didn't get an answer, especially my government should not really take a good decision. So I decided to run myself and try to make things myself using, of course, women pushed me. They came with money, they collect money, and they came with $100,000, and they said, you don't have any reason to don't run. Money is there. So I did it. But today I can say that really, I'm so impressed by all the women we are treating at Panzi.
Yeah.
It's really impressive to see women who are abandoned by the society. The society fails to protect them, to prevent what happened to them. But after, they're still willing to support others, even myself. So I can say that when I'm in a weakness, they're the one who are supporting me. And this is really something that are touching me a lot, to just understand that we are in a society completely destroyed by men who are fighting for power. But women are there to build a system where everyone can get his place. And this is giving me a lot of hope for the future. I believe that in the way that women are acting in many society, even if we are now in really a terrible situation when it comes to the situation of the world, I believe that
I want to thank you for
that
giving
can
us
make a
hope
big difference.
in the middle of that. And to thank you from the bottom of the heart of women and men everywhere for the advocacy that you have continued and for the transformative model that the Panzi Foundation and the Panzi Hospital has created. You are saving lives, healing lives, and taking the message to all of us that we cannot allow this violence to continue. Thank you, Dr. Mukwege.
Thank you. Thank you.